Ding.
Hi, we're here. We're back.
And one more
he's
time,
not.
he's gonna stay with us all day today because he's so cool.
Yes,
We just love Elon. He makes me laugh.
he's just
He's just so. I don't know. I would love to meet him.
I know. We could somebody out there call him for us. With it. See, we were talking about freedoms last week, right? And that led us to nudist colonies.
Yes, it did.
Which we finished up last. And then I happened to look at the podcast about this Colorado boy. I guess this happened in August. Was removed from school over "Don't Tread on Me" patch. Can you believe that?
No.
Okay, and again, here's our freedoms of First Amendment rights. Do you have a "Don't Tread on Me" flag?
No, I don't.
I do.
No, I've looked at them, and people have license plates and everything.
Well, I got one a few years ago when somebody was running, and we donated to their campaign, and he sent me a signed flag.
Really?
Yes, isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a proud symbol of the American Revolution. So obviously, some people don't know the history very well.
No, they don't.
That, the whole thing for the revolution was taxes and, well, go back and look up your history, folks. But this 12-year-old boy in Colorado went to school with a "Don't Tread on Me" patch and got in trouble. So, and the reason was, the reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with slavery and the slave trade, said the administrator. Yeah, it's basically what this kid, and there's videos out there where he's talking to the administrator's talking to this kid, and he's looking at his mother like, I don't believe them. Do they not know history? And that is the problem. He was kicked out of class for having a patch, the Gladstone flag patch, and it's disruptive to the school environment. Really? So,
well, this one's not necessarily a freedom thing, but it's another stupid thing. This was let's see, this was a day ago. Yeah. That, let's see, a 10th grade ethnic studies world history teacher at an international high school failed students who turned in understanding gender versus sex assignment that did not align with left-wing LGBT ideology. The student responded to the quiz by saying that only women can get pregnant and only men have certain body parts per the outlet. And they were failed because they say it's not true. And I'm like, yes, it is. Because you don't, I mean, that's just, I don't get it. I don't understand how you could be an educator. I just don't understand.
again, the skeleton will tell it all.
And that in your DNA, yeah.
Pretty much. You think it's not going to.
I mean,
so can a man, I don't know, can a guy carry an embryo embedded? That would be kind of interesting. There's a question for you.
Well, where's he going? They're going to have to do a C-section to get it out.
Probably.
It's just ridiculous.
But I'm curious. I'd ask her.
Wouldn't you have to put something in there to be able to carry it?
Can men get pregnant? Yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth.
Yeah, but that's transgender. So if you're a man and you change to, if you're a woman and you change to a man, you can still, yes, you can get pregnant as a man. But you're a woman.
But you're a woman now. Yeah, if you have uterus and ovaries, and if you don't have a uterus,
you got to be able to tote the baby in a uterus.
Yeah,
they don't grow in your stomach like we tell kids.
Well, here it is. Yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth to children of their own. In fact, it's probably a lot more common than you might think.
No, it's not.
Common?
No, it's not. Mm-mm. No, because that's been the lifelong thing. Women, every time the woman was pregnant, they would say, "Man, I wish you could do it. I wish you could take the next one."
I know.
I mean, no, I'm sorry, but
Yeah, man, let's see.
but you've got to be, and see, it's just like to me with the you have the right, yes, to say that you're genderless. You have that right. You can say, I can sit
Whatever
here
you want.
with my dark hair, I can sit here and tell you I'm a blonde. I have the right to sit here and say I'm a blonde. You can see I'm not.
You're colorblind.
I mean, but I can sit here and say whatever.
You
You
can
have the
pronounce your
right.
name any way you want.
That's right. I could be Kareen.
That's right. Yes, you could be Korean.
I could be Kareen Holtzone. I mean, I can, you have the rights to do, you have the rights to free speech. You have the rights to do this. But when you say that you're gender neutral, you're not.
I'm just reading this whole Healthline thing, and tell you the truth, it's quite confusing. I guess if you were born a hermaphrodite, which means you have both male and female parts.
But now that's a rarity.
Now that is a rare.
That's
yes.
a rare, it's not common.
No, not common. And I was thinking there was Marco Polo. I thought there was one famous person who was a hermaphrodite. But
see, and I just want to say something like Archie Bunker would say right now. I don't know what kind of religion they are. I have no clue. Wouldn't that be something he'd say, you know, I don't know.
hermath.
He would say, I don't know what kind of religion they are, but it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if they're dating a girl. I mean, he would just say something totally ridiculous.
Meathead. Meatball. Yeah, and it's just.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
But I mean,
school districts, how confusing must it be to be a teenager in school now with all of this chaos?
Well, I don't know how you're an English teacher.
Well, why bother?
I mean, really, truly,
they don't use cursive. They print everything. Grammatically, I've heard some people, they can't speak English very well. Neither can I. No, but their grammar's horrible. And you have no pronouns.
Well, you do,
but there's so many of them.
You do, but they can be interchanged for anything.
They can be interchanged, and that's very hard.
So how in the world do you do this? And then try to think about this when you're trying to use the new pronouns in a foreign language.
Well, see, I don't know if that's going to work.
But now, okay, so now
I was just thinking of when I was writing out our Christmas packages, because I refuse to wrap gifts. Here's your bag. Go through your bag. There's your gifts. And I wrote nono and nana, nono. And then I'm thinking, oh, let's see. Well, aunt and uncle is tia, tio, tia, tio. So, you know.
But in foreign languages,
That's right.
like Spanish especially, but I know it translates in
That's
Italian
right.
too. Tia, aunt, tio, uncle. But so now if the uncle identifies as the aunt, and then you say,
instead it's like it's so you have no gender with your aunt and uncle anymore.
And you're trying to describe this.
Sit.
But I mean, everything in a foreign language is female or male.
Yes,
because even
even when they speak it, because depending on who you're talking to,
you know, even when you're using the estás and esto, you know.
Yes.
So I mean, it's got to be really confusing because, you know, yeah.
Wow. I wonder what they're doing about it.
I don't know. I don't
That would
know,
be a
but
cute.
I don't know what they do,
Are
but
they gender neutral in Spain?
or
In
in Italy.
Spanish? Or
I
I'm
mean,
just going to be looking up so many things.
it's I don't know, it's just crazy to me. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up that I think is ridiculous this week are the people that came from those prestigious colleges and had to talk about the anti-Semitism on their campuses.
Oh,
And one of them
somebody's
got
already.
fired.
Was that Pennsylvania?
Penn got
I
that one got
saw a
canned,
little bit of her.
but the one from Harvard, because she was already hired because of the what is it they call it, the DEI or DIE, because of the diversity,
Diversity.
equity, and inclusion. So DEI. Anyway, they kept her. So she was one that always supposedly touted and was like, you can't be against this and that and the other, but yet it's okay to be anti-Semitic. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. And then I forget who the other college was. I don't know what they've done with that
Well,
person.
Harvard was the one that got in trouble for what? Not taking in Asian kids, wasn't it? They
I
they
think
were the
so.
ones, even though they qualified. So that's probably why she was hired.
So my thing is, people really need to think about where they're sending their kids and what it is. And somebody even suggested that there be a woke meter for colleges. And I think that would be
You
very
know,
good because that would help parents. Because, a lot of people send their kids off to school now and then they come back and they're just these liberal nuts.
yeah. What did you drinking their Kool-Aid there? We have one woman, a friend of mine, is raising her grandson, and said, what's he going to do when he graduates? And where do you send him? About the only place, now I don't know what Longwood's like, but I know Liberty's probably about the only choice close by that you're going to get some kind of freedom of, because they're not going to be doing all that crap.
I mean, I don't know how you can stand for anybody being annihilated. I just don't understand that. I mean, do they have a right to protest on campuses? Absolutely. It's
Sure,
freedom of
that's
speech.
freedom of speech. That is it.
But in no way should anybody stand for or be for anybody being annihilated.
I don't
I just don't get it.
I don't get it. And we went over that before in the history of the Middle East and who happened to live there. Remember, we did the whole maps. I probably still have the maps in here because I'm a pack rat when it comes about all these maps and things and looking stuff up. But I don't get it. They when it I'm speechless, which is
I
tough.
know.
Because years ago, when you talked about someone being liberal, what did that mean? They accepted everybody.
Yeah,
You
usually.
were liberal. You were liberal in your thoughts and your beliefs, and you were. But what's happening now?
Yeah, it's
It's
changed.
not being liberal so much as, yeah, my liberties. I don't want to hear anything about your liberties or
Yeah,
your rights.
unless you accept everything that I like.
That's
or that
right. That's how we're being liberal.
And see, that's why people don't like. That's why the Democratic Party does not like Robert Kennedy. He's running. He wanted to run in the Democratic Party, but they don't like him because he does not line up with all their ideals of pushing all
Well,
this stuff.
you just brought up a whole new topic.
And he's. I mean, people are looking at him because so now he's running independent. Because the Democratic Party has thrown him out because he does not line up with our ideals. And that's crazy when you don't line up with the the Kennedys are Democrat. I mean, they are the backbone of Democrats. I mean, I just don't, when a Kennedy gets kicked out of the Democratic Party
There's something wrong.
for being a Democrat, then something is not, I
Now,
don't get it.
You mentioned JFK and RFK. Now, I remember the day JFK was shot and assassinated. And you bringing up a Kennedy, is he of the Kennedy clan, Robert Kennedy? Yeah, okay. So he's of that. And you go back, and when JFK was assassinated, there was no conspiracy theories, absolutely none. One shot, one guy did it, Lee Harvey Oswald with his rifle. And what was it, the library? All right. And I read, being a curious person that I read every bit of documentation that came out that I could find. Read the book. I actually have some of the newspaper articles. I think I still have them someplace. And one of the conspiracy theory people said there was more than one shooter.
Yes.
And that day in Dallas, it was a bright, sunny day, no rain. But there were pictures of 4 people, I believe, were holding up black umbrellas throughout the crowd. And the rifle that he shot was known to not be accurate at all. Do you know there's a new program out now? And I started to watch it the other day. And I couldn't watch a lot of it because it's stuff that I'd already read about. But this was now, it's been 60 years. And the pathologists, the doctors that did his autopsy were sworn to secrecy.
I believe it.
And
because there's been a cover-up for years.
If you look it up, you can find it on TV, Starlink, you look it up. And they're saying he was shot. There were at least 5 shots that ran out. And there were 2 shots, one from the front and one from the back. It gives me chills. But that was the theory, because he was starting to investigate. The Russians didn't like it and he was popular. Everybody liked him.
But there was some things with our CIA that didn't like him either.
Now, that brings in Robert Kennedy.
Yes.
Who was he was the
brother.
Attorney General. And Sirhan. Now, not only, I was told this by a gentleman who is a history teacher, and this man knows so much. And we were talking about it on Sunday a week ago. And Sirhan didn't shoot Robert Kennedy. I mean, he like that, and people behind him got hit. But Robert Kennedy was hit from behind.
Yeah, and see, he was the one that was going against the mafia and
Mafia and CIA.
and
I think there was
different
3,
also.
3, and they just wanted him eliminated because of what he was. So,
yes. And I think there's definitely a conspiracy there worth looking into.
Well, when you have the doctors who did the autopsy,
see, everything
sworn
was
to secrecy,
but it was silenced for so many years.
And now it's 60 years later, and half of these people probably that were involved are gone.
Exactly, dead.
And now these doctors are being interviewed, and they're telling, this is what we saw.
They won't be alive long.
Oh, man, that's a scary. Well, look, Sirhan was shot. Why? Because shut him up.
Oswald was shot.
That's right. You cut him. You shut them all up.
It's just funny that you just clean up your messes.
Just clean up your, and
it's just odd how they just.
And I'd watched it. I'm telling you, I probably was in my 20s when they had all these articles out in a book, and I read them. And that rifle was so bad, it was known to not be accurate. I'm just saying.
I know. I totally. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
And we wonder how many conspiracies are out there now that we do not know about.
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things that, if the American public really knew, if we all knew, we would never trust our government again, I don't think.
There's no honesty. There's not honesty that's out there. And we have, 12-year-olds getting kicked out of class because he wore a patch that said, "Don't tread on me," and somebody thinks that has something to do with slavery. Okay. You need to go back and cover history. It's just like changing words and names and football teams. And
if I'm not mistaken, Robert Kennedy that's running is the nephew
of
John.
I wonder who is
Robert F.
Robert F.
It said Robert, because he's junior. It said it was Robert F. or Robert and Ethel. Anyway, it's just interesting. So, we're going to end on a light note.
Okay, you got something good?
Well, it's funny. So I found the original butt heads.
Whitetail?
yeah, whitetail. So we're watching. My husband is, we like Star Trek and everything.
Oh, Nanu.
So he found the pilot episode for Star Trek,
Mm-hmm.
and on the Star Trek, there are the original butt heads.
I probably saw that show too.
But they are just, that is the
That
original.
really,
It really does.
It looks like a butt head.
I was like, Bubba, the original butt heads. I said, and he was like, what? And I'm like, never mind. It's the original white tails.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Who's getting Charlie? We were singing Charlie Brown the other day too. All those old songs.
Oh yeah. It's getting to be that season. See, today starts the 12 days of Christmas.
That's right, on your birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not decorating anymore.
I'm just trying to clean up and get.
I got to run the vacuum cleaner. We're going to go visit relatives overnight this weekend.
Well, good.
And then my sister at the beach New Year's weekend.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice.
And I'm going to bake pies. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather bake than clean. Is there something wrong with me?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I'd rather bake than clean.
No, absolutely not. Now, I know people that would feel the opposite way, but no, not me.
I'll roll that pie dough out.
I know. It's therapeutic, isn't it?
Yes. And I put a show on it. Oh, we need to talk about the power grid. Now, who do you get your power from? Dominion or Southside?
Southside.
Did you get the notice?
About what?
Rate changes?
It might have come in my email.
Probably. That's what we got ours.
Okay, it's probably in my email.
Because what they're going to be doing is the rates are going to be different during peak hours when people are using it more.
And when does this start?
I forgot to see that part.
Okay, well, I'll have to look that up.
So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that works. Especially down here. When's a peak hour in Lunenburg County?
I know, right?
Do we have a peak hour? Like, it's not like we're in Richmond. I mean, what big industry do we have that's going to have a peak hour? The power plant.
And I guess, for most of us, it's just like, when you get home and stuff. I guess the peak hours for most people.
It would be somebody like when your grandkids get home from school and go on the computer.
And then people get home from work. Then everything starts coming on and going to live. And
so you have to do so those of us who are at home, we can't use anything during the peak hours. We have to we'll do things during the non-peak hours when you guys are all working. I'll do my laundry and stuff during the day.
I'm sorry. Elon, save us.
Save us. Save us.
No, only God can do that.
That is true.
We joke about that, Elon, but no, only God is this.
He can make our life easier.
But God is our Savior.
That's right.
And He's the only one that can make sense out of all this craziness.
He has a plan. That's what I keep saying.
He does.
He's got a plan. It's His path, and we just have to follow it. Maybe a little confusing at times.
And we have to help people get back on track.
Yes. And there's a movie.
You're going off the cliff. You're going off the cliff. You're going. Trying to warn you.
Splat. You're going too fast. You're going too fast. There's an S-curve. Yes, that's a tree.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.